Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian from Ridgeback Productions, and I help beginning voiceover talents grow their business and generate income. Lots of income. That's kind of where I go to after that line. Okay, you've seen the videos before. Well, this one's a little bit different because lately I've been putting out a lot of gig reviews. I thought I'd change it up. As with all good things in life, there are haters. And I had a really cool hater that came through on one of my YouTube videos that said, "Can you do it? You can talk the talk. Let's see, walk the walk." It was something to that effect. There were some expletives and some rudeness, but basically what it was shows that you can do it. And I have so many videos that demonstrate me doing work, and I have demos posted, whatever. So I thought for fun, let me show you how I do some things. And this is with one of my clients. I've mentioned before that I go back and forth on YouTube, but I have a couple YouTube clients that I've had for a long time. And, their channel is doing well and they're willing to pay me well. I have a high rate that I charge for my YouTube videos, and that's why I do it. But when you're first starting, YouTube is a great way to start because you can get work for pretty cheap. There's a lot of channels that are looking for real people. They don't offer a whole lot. And they might even offer $5, $10, $15. I remember those old days back in the day when that's what I charged. Now I charge a lot more, but that's okay. I usually get bulk, and that's what I'm going to show you for this one. So let's just slide into that one. Okay, so what we have here is, let me get this out of the way for you. I have a list right here, and this is my list that I got, and this just came in today or yesterday. So we have 3 quick videos that they're looking for with topics. These are the links, and this is how I do my work, just so you can get familiar with how things work and as you move up the chain. So I get an order with a sheet, and here's the articles. I get a word count. This is my total word count. My total word count times my rate gives me my price, which I know you can't see, but that's for me and my clients to know. So I don't, I like to discuss a lot of things, but a lot of my clients don't want full disclosure on what they're paying for whatever. So I respect that. And then if you look right here, it says completed. This is a link to a folder, and that's where I deliver. So I bring up the script, I record it, and then I finish it, and then I put it in that folder for my client. Done and done. Okay, so here's the article. Bring up the article. Here's the article. And I'm going to grab the title. I just grabbed the title from up here. And this is a gun channel. I add the title. Slide me back over here. I like to increase my font so it's a little bit easier for my old eyes to see. And I use Adobe Audition, so you're just going to see the whole process. Boom. You're going to see as I'm narrating, you're going to see marks that go in for my errors. If I make an error, I put a mark and I redo it. I redo that line and then I fix it when I do my editing, which you'll see. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Madman Review. Do you sometimes wonder why some folks still swear by their trusty revolvers in a world where semi-automatic handguns seem to be everywhere? It's like preferring a classic vinyl record over the latest streaming tunes. There's just something timeless and appealing about a good old revolver that goes beyond nostalgia. Think about it. In a world crammed with gadgets and gizmos, a revolver is like that no-fuss tool in your shed that never lets you down. It's the down-to-earth, reliable buddy in the world of firearms. Sure, semi-autos get all the hype with their fancy features and extra rounds, but when push comes to shove, sometimes less is more. So, why do some folks choose to stick with a revolver, a design that's been around since Wyatt Earp's heyday? It's not just about keeping things old school. Revolvers offer some real deal benefits that can make a big difference, especially when you need them most. Let's take a step back from the high-tech hype and explore why choosing a revolver isn't just a nod to the past. In certain situations, it might be one of the smartest choices for today's gun owners. Number 8, simplicity. No, I'm not talking about simple as in boring or basic. I'm talking about the kind of simplicity that's downright refreshing in today's world, where everything seems to have a million buttons and settings. With a revolver, you're getting a user experience that's as straightforward as it gets. Think of it like your favorite old school diner. No frills, just good, reliable service. You don't need to be a gun geek to understand how to use a revolver. Load it, aim it, and pull the trigger. That's it. There's something to be said about a tool that doesn't come with a 50-page instruction manual, right? Here's the kicker. This simplicity isn't just about ease of use, it also means fewer things can go wrong. When you're in a situation where you need your gun, the last thing you want is to fumble with safety locks or worry about a jammed magazine. With a revolver, these concerns are practically non-existent. It's like having a trusty old pickup truck that may not have all the latest gadgets, but always gets the job done. Plus, when it comes to cleaning and maintenance, revolvers are the low-maintenance pals in the firearm world. There's none of that finicky disassembly and reassembly that can make cleaning semi-autos a headache. So, for anyone who appreciates the beauty in simplicity, who likes their tools tough, reliable, and uncomplicated, the revolver is a perfect choice. It's old school cool, without the hassle. Number 7, reliability. When we're talking reliability, revolvers have a rep for being the tough, dependable workhorses of the handgun world. They're like the reliable old friend who's always there when you need them. No questions asked. Why? For starters, they've got fewer moving parts. That means fewer things can go wrong, jam up, or break down when you're in a pinch. It's the kind of straightforward, rugged design that you can count on, especially in situations where there's no room for error. Another point to consider is the way revolvers handle ammunition. Unlike semi-autos, which can be picky eaters with their magazines and feeding mechanisms, revolvers are like the easy-going buddy who's not fussy about what's for dinner. They can handle a variety of ammo without batting an eye, making them a reliable choice in situations where ammo availability might be unpredictable. And let's talk about maintenance. Revolvers don't throw a fit if you're not cleaned. Revolvers don't throw a fit if they're not cleaned every time they're used. They're low maintenance, forgiving, and don't demand the meticulous care that some semi-autos do. It's like having a tool that's always ready to go. Even if it's been sitting in the drawer for a while. Number 6, user-friendly operation. When it comes to firearms, user-friendliness might not be the first thing you think of, but hear me out. Revolvers are like the classic pickup truck of guns. Straightforward, no frills, and easy to handle. In the world of handguns, having a user-friendly operation is more than just a nice feature. It's a game changer, especially for new shooters or those who prefer to keep things simple. Here's the thing about revolvers. Their operation is as basic as it gets, which is a big win for practicality. Think about using an old flip phone compared to a latest gen smartphone. The revolver is that flip phone. Load it, close the cylinder, aim, pull the trigger. No fancy menus or extra buttons. This simplicity is a huge plus in stressful situations. You don't need to remember a bunch of steps or deal with safety switches when time is of the essence. And this isn't just about ease of use in shooting. The straightforward design of revolvers extends to their care and maintenance too. Unlike their semi-auto cousins, which can sometimes feel like they need a degree in Unlike the semi-auto cousins, which can sometimes feel like they need a degree in mechanical engineering to disassemble and clean, revolvers are the low-maintenance friends in the gun world. They're like that reliable piece of gear you have that's always ready to go, even if you haven't used it in a while. Modern revolvers usually come in double action, which means pulling the trigger does two things: cocks the hammer and then fires the gun. It's a one-step process that cuts down on the potential for mistakes, making it ideal for high-pressure situations. This user-friendliness isn't just a convenience, it can be a real advantage when you need your firearm to be as intuitive and reliable as possible. Number 5. No tap rack bang required. Let's talk about something that really sets revolvers apart from semi-autos. Easy troubleshooting. Picture this. You're out in the woods, or maybe just at the range, and your semi-auto jams. What do? The old tap, rack, and bang routine. It's like needing to reboot your smartphone when it freezes. Now, with a revolver, it's a whole different ballgame. Think of it like a trusty old radio that just needs a gentle smack to get back on track. When it comes to revolvers, if you pull the trigger and nothing happens, you don't have to go through a whole song and dance to fix it. Just pull the trigger again. This simplicity in troubleshooting is like having a tool that doesn't need a troubleshooting manual. Straightforward, no nonsense, and let's be honest, kind of refreshing in today's complicated world. Granted, there are semi-auto pistols out there that do have a similar feature called restrike capability. Specifically, most, if not DASA pistols have this capability. If the chambered cartridge has a particularly tough primer, you can just pull the trigger again, this time in double action mode. The firing pin should be able to ignite the primer the second time around. But if it doesn't, then you'll still need to do the tap rack bang routine. This makes revolvers better than semi-auto DASA pistols. Number 4, superior stopping power. When it comes to packing a punch, revolvers chambered in magnum calibers are often in a league of their own. They're like the heavy-hitting sluggers in a baseball team, bringing some serious power to the plate. This superior stopping power is one of the key reasons many folks lean towards revolvers over semi-autos, especially when it comes to self-defense against large, dangerous game. Now, what makes revolvers stand out in this regard? It's all about the calibers they chamber. Revolvers can handle some seriously large rounds, like the .357 Magnum, the .44 Magnum, the .354 Casull, the .460 Smith & Wesson Magnum, and the .500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. These aren't just any rounds, they're the kind of heavy artillery that, when you fire them, you know they mean business. Now, some may argue that these cartridges are overkill if you're carrying in an urban environment. I would agree with them, but this aspect of revolvers, it's not just about raw power, it's also about versatility. And let's not forget, with great power comes great responsibility. These larger calibers in revolvers provide excellent stopping power, which is crucial in some self-defense scenarios. It's like having a trusty guard dog. You hope you never need to unleash it, but it's reassuring to know it's there if you do. Now, while revolvers can chamber the largest and most powerful handgun cartridges, they can also chamber weaker versions of those cartridges, making them more versatile than semi-autos. Ever heard of the Medusa Model 47? If you haven't, we talked about it in one of our videos. We'll leave a link to that video in the description. Number 3, safer trigger mechanism. Let's talk about something that might not be the flashiest topic in the gun world, but it sure is important. Trigger safety. When it comes to revolvers, they've got a bit of an edge with their trigger mechanism. It's all about making things safer. It's like having a car with really good brakes. Might not be what sells the car, but you'll be glad it's there when you need it. Revolvers typically have a heavy double-action trigger pull. Now you might be thinking, why would I want to work harder to pull the trigger? Here's the deal. That heavier pull is actually a built-in safety feature. It's there to make sure nothing happens unless you really want it to. In high-pressure situations, which, let's face it, is when most folks would be using their firearm, nerves can get jittery. That heavier trigger pull on a revolver means you're less likely to have an accidental discharge. It's like having an extra moment to think, do I really want to turn on this chainsaw? Before it roars to life. Plus, this feature can be a real advantage when you're carrying concealed. Last thing you want is a hair trigger when you're moving around in daily life. A revolver's double action trigger gives you control over a potentially volatile situation. Number 2, reliability with varied bullet types. This is a big deal because not all guns work with whatever ammo you throw at them. But revolvers, they're up for anything. Think about it. Semi-auto handguns can be picky eaters. They need the right type of ammo to feed and eject properly. It's like having a sports car that only runs smoothly on premium fuel. But revolvers, they're not fussy about the brand or type of bullets you're using. Whether it's standard, premium, or some oddball rounds you found at a discount, your revolver is likely to handle them like a champ. This versatility is huge, especially in situations where you might have not have your pick of ammo. Maybe you're out in the sticks, or it's the end of a long day at the range, and all you've got left are some mixed rounds. With a revolver, it's no sweat. It's like having a trusty old camping stove that'll cook whatever you throw on it. No questions asked. And it's not just about being able to fire different types of ammo. This versatility means that revolvers can be more reliable in a broader range of situations. Whether it's self-defense, target shooting, or just plinking cans in the backyard, you're not limited to ammo specifically. You're not limited by ammo specificity. And it's like having a multi-tool that's ready for whatever job you've got. Number 1, easier for users with weak grips. This is where revolvers truly shine. Here's the lowdown. Semi-automatic handguns can be a bit challenging for some shooters, especially those with weaker grips. Operating the slide on a semi-auto, especially under stress, can feel like trying to open a stubborn jar of pickles. It requires a decent amount of hand strength and dexterity, which I guess most people have, but not everyone. I know my old man doesn't. For folks who might struggle with the physical demands of a semi-auto, the revolver offers a more accessible alternative. There's no slide to manipulate, which is a huge relief for anyone who might find that part of using a semi-auto daunting. Think about it. You wouldn't want to use a tool that requires more strength than you've got, right? Same goes for handguns. Having a gun that's easier to handle and operate is not just about comfort, It's about safety and effectiveness too. You want something that you can use confidently and without struggle. And for some people, that's a revolver. So for anyone who's ever felt like racking the slide on any semi-auto is a bit too much, there's always a wheel gun out there to fill that gap. Nice. And that's honestly pretty typical of what my narratives look like for YouTube. I had that long section where I wasn't making errors, then you make a couple errors. I had errors where maybe there was spit in my mouth and I needed to swallow, or said the wrong word, or that one specificity, like that one just caught me. And, it happens. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. So I have Adobe Audition, and I like to work in wave and spectral view. If you're not familiar with what that is, you can look it up. It helps a lot with viewing stuff. So if you look at my file, you can see that I input at -12. I'm looking over here. -12 to like -9, a couple peaks. That's great. That's really what you want to input your audio at. And then I'm going to edit. So I have some hotkeys. I go to the beginning, and this is where the spectral view really helps. This wave line looks pretty flat, but you can see here that I have some breaths and stuff. That's when I first started. That's okay. Okay, so what I do, and this is good. If this looks quick to you, it's because it is quick. I have shortcuts, and I have my mouse all dialed in. I use a gaming mouse with all the different buttons for all the different things I do. So I'm just going to edit this really quickly. Revolvers don't, and let's talk about maintenance. Revolvers, it's like having a tool. It's like the revolver. Unlike their semi-auto cousins, which can sometimes be needed. It's like needing a reboot. It's like when it comes to packing a punch, revolver's chambered. We'll leave a link to that. A revolver's double wrap gives you this versatility. This versatility is huge, especially as you're not limited to ammo specifically. Welcome back. Okay, cool. So that's my edits done with that. Now I use UAD interface. I have the Apollo Twin. So I'm running through my audio, and I'm imprinting effects that I use. So I have presets that I use, and these are actually presets that I've worked with Lenny B. If you haven't checked out my friend Lenny B, he's an audio engineer, and he's amazing. He works with voiceover artists, and just over time and years of knowing him and working together, whenever I change something up, the first thing I do is call Lenny, and I go through his thing. You give him raw audio and whatever. Okay. So this is what I come in at, and then I edit, and then I have a shortcut, and I put some special sauce on it, and you can see how this works. So some of this works pretty quick. So it normalized, and then it runs a gentle EQ. Then I do de-click, and then I think it's going to do a denoise, and then I have a rack that I set. So we're going to go ahead and just let this play through, and I'll fast forward to the end right now. Boom! Now it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? So then what I do is I run a diagnostic to delete silence, and I'm going to search for levels first I find my levels, and then I'm going to scan at anything that's longer than 655 milliseconds. And I have 355 problems detected. My recording was 1453, but when I shortened that all, we're down to 1426, so takes a good amount of time off. Nice. So then from there, I go to my files, save it. Nice. I can close out my script, go in the folder for my client, and I've already done one. This will be second. So this goes into the folder for the client, which on his sheet, because this is what he gives me, if he clicks on the completed VO link, he has my completed VOs in that. That is essentially how this process works. I don't know. So there you go. If you didn't believe that I'm a voiceover artist and you just thought I don't know, it kind of made me laugh. And so I was like, challenge accepted, kind of thing. I don't know. I know it's foolish, but I love voiceover. I spent all day, not all day, most of the day doing VO. The great part about it is it's a business that I get to work from home, so I get to be present for all the things in life that I want to be present for. But for a lot of my time, I'm in the studio and talking with clients. I have a lot of stuff that I do, and this is the type of work I do. And I just kind of saved this one for this video just to show you that I can do stuff and see my process. If you have any questions about the process, man, feel free to reach out. You can email me. The link is in the description below. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Love doing it. And if you have, drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff that helps the algorithm to get this out to other new voiceover talents. And I'm booking up fast. My goodness, I had a bunch of people book consultations last night and this morning, and woo-wee, it's a busy, busy life, but I'm loving it. So anyways, that's it, guys. I hope you got a lot out of it, and we will see you next time. See ya!